This is Jonathan Ferguson, the Keeper of Firearms Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK, which houses a collection of thousands of iconic weapons from throughout history. And on this week's episode, we're showing Jonathan the weapons from the Fallout TV show, including a few hard to spot ones you might have missed. In the background, there's a plasma pistol, there's a laser rifle.
I missed the plasma pistol. I did see the laser rifle, but I'm catching way more detail thanks to this than I did when I actually watched the episode.
Make sure to subscribe as well, as we've got a lot of Fallout content on the channel right now, including a breakdown of the show's many Easter eggs and a comprehensive timeline of the Fallout canon. And of course, let us know what future games you'd like to see us cover in the comments section down below. Right, over to Jonathan.
My name is Lucy McLean, and I dabble in riflery. Though I'm not very good.
Sterling submachine guns in Fallout. Very surprised to see these. From what I can tell, Sterling Mark IV, which is the most produced variant out there. Now, obviously, there are Sterlings in the United States. The first hurdle here is geography. Why do we have a very British submachine gun in the Western United States in any timeline? Well, they did get exported. You will come across them. They're not common, though. Bigger issue I've got is that this is well into the 21st century of this timeline. So why on earth would Vault Armories have 1950s vintage submachine guns in them? I know why they've chosen them. They do have that sort of 1950s look to them, because they are. So we see the main character shooting kind of from the chest, looking over the gun and holding the magazine, flinching quite a bit. Sorry, Ella, but you are flinching there. But they are using real guns, and that's it. I'm glad that they used real blank firing guns in this show. Considering she's supposed to be on this sort of rifle team, she's not doing a great job. Really bizarre choice. I don't know what you think, Dave, about British Sterlings. They're not Canadian either, by the way, before anyone
I was going to say, I thought I was being real clever when I messaged you about it. I was like, you were asking me if there were examples in the game of Sterling appearing. And I thought, oh, maybe it's the Canadian C1 because America annexed Canada. And you were like, no, they're Sterlings.
For those of you who don't know how I can smugly and glibly answer that, the main giveaway is the front sight protector. It's a very distinctive shape on the Canadian C1. But not that would deal with the other complaint that I have, which is really they're a bit too old hat. The other thing, of course, this is a science fiction series. What's this known to be, apart from the Sterling? Especially with the stock folded? Stormtrooper blaster. So even people who don't know guns might be looking at that going, oh, that looks a bit like a Stormtrooper gun. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyway, moving on. So the tranquilizer pistol, help me out, Dave, is that designed from the games? I don't remember it personally.
It's a unique design, but I think it's possibly referencing the Syringe. Yeah, we saw it in the last Fallout 4 episode we did last week, but that's the only sort of tangible game reference. Yeah. I'm not going to spoil it, but I have my own headcanon as to why a weapon like this appears in this vault, but I know you're only on episode 4, so... Okay.
In that kind of... Fallout's the ultimate version of this, but that survival of people underground after a nuclear attack scenario, you do have to think carefully about what weapons you want in whose hands. But it would make sense to me that the readily available things, they literally break glass in case of emergency with the dart gun. And then your submachine guns are locked away that only certain people can access, because things go sideways quickly in a very small community like that where no one can get out. People are going to have ideas about mutinies and rebellions and things. All very interesting to think about. We've also had a glimpse there of what I think must be the rifle version of this. Let's call it a Syringe. Do we think that's what the silver gun is?
Yeah, because we see Lucy's father get shot with one of those when the raider takes it. You can see some vault security using them, so I think it is just a long silver trank gun.
Weirdly, and this is not the gun from the series, guys, but it's eerily familiar. It's got a different shape, butt pad, butt assembly. Everything about it is actually different. This is the Hilton MRPG multi-purpose riot gun. One of many riot guns that we have in the collection that happens to have been chrome-plated for reasons best known to the Hilton company. But as soon as I saw that in Fallout, I thought, oh, wow, we've got that gun. We haven't got that gun. But it really is reminiscent. Size, shape, color. Doesn't shoot darts, it shoots like big rubber bullets, but it certainly does look very, very Fallouty as well. So, a bit of debate over what the Fallout assault rifle actually is based on. We've picked up before on, in particular, the grip, the giant M249 or FN Minimi front grip. So what we have here, the very prominent feature that the left hand is holding there, is a direct lift from this design that is on this 5.56 millimeter light machine gun, very much not the sort of machine gun that the rest of the gun is. What's the rest of the gun? Well, that's where the debate kind of comes in. For me, well, I've gone with something that it looks the most like as a complete package. There is a definite element of the Lewis gun there. The veins at the back of the barrel jacket, basically the barrel jacket up to where, just forward of the front sight bracket, that's Lewis gun barrel shroud. So a radiator, an aluminium radiator with a steel casing over it. But the front part of this, so it's like a Vickers Lewis mullet. It's got the Lewis, the Vickers in the front, the Lewis in the back. I think that's a good choice. I think if you'd gone with just front of a Lewis gun, it would be a bit too Star Wars and a bit too obvious. By mashing up Maxim, Lewis, M249, and whatever the back part, and we had this debate before. I'm not convinced that back receiver portion and feed tray is based on anything in particular. So the gun I've chosen as the sort of real world version is very much not an assault rifle. It's a, quote, light machine gun. Then, you know, if we were doing the Fallout TV series on a budget, you could literally just grab this and slap a prism optic on the top of it, and you've got yourself your Fallout assault rifle. You wouldn't want to do that to a, not priceless, but a very valuable relic of the Great War. And you also wouldn't want it for prop reasons, because it's far too heavy to give to an actor, even if they do have power armor. We see the Squire trying to use that massive, bulky, heavy assault rifle, and he rests it, which reflects the real weight and bulk of something like this gun behind me. And the fact that someone in powered armor really could just use it like an assault rifle.
Martha.
The classic, well for me anyway, the classic 10mm pistol. Just like the power armor, brilliant to see that in live action. And we actually get two flavors of 10mm pistol in this series. I suspect you got the other one for me. Or is it three?
There's three types of 10mm pistol across the franchise.
Yeah.
1 and 2, the 3 in New Vegas, and the one from 4. They're all slightly different.
I think the 10mm pistol with Fallout 3 is where I formed my impression of the firearms design language, if you like, of the Fallout universe. Big, bulky, old-fashioned looking, but also futuristic. I'd always rather have that than something like the broom handle. I mean, I'm sure there are nitpicks people could make, and probably are making. Looks bang on to me. I don't think based, the prop that is, based on any real firearm. So although some of the guns do appear to be real blank firing firearms, there are also entirely prop weapons that will not be firing anything. They might have a electric motor driven action, and then there'll be CGI, muzzle flash, case ejection. This is a really interesting weapon. So it first appears in one of the original isometric games, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was the 10mm pistol of Fallout 1 and 2. It's actually called the Colt 6520.
So we get these two different prominent 10mm pistols. So the big bulky one shows up in a different context, and the Brotherhood Knights have a third pistol. This is implied to be the Squire's pistol. It's still big and bulky, but it's slimmer than some of the others. And it's this interesting combination of a cylinder and presumably some sort of magazine. So there are a couple of obscure designs. The Dardic is the most famous of revolvers that are fed by a magazine. So it's not impossible that you would have a weapon that has both features. I think we can sort of see a magazine base plate there, but there's no logical way that that's going to feed from a magazine into that cylinder. The cylinder is too far forward.
Interestingly, now this is getting very nerdy. This 10mm pistol was originally envisioned as an automatic revolver, but there was a miscommunication between artists and writers during the development of Fallout 1. The writers gave it a loading system that was like a magazine, but the artist was thinking of it as an automatic revolver. So it's sort of retained those two clashing systems now, but in the show you see the cylinder spin as well, despite it also being magazine fed. So it's like this weird inherited miscommunication all the way back from Fallout 1 that's now become real in the show. It's very bizarre.
Normally that would annoy me, but the fact that it's based in video game history is kind of nice. I like the practical aspects of the moving parts on the prop are good. Again, this is not built on any real world gun. This is entirely a prop. I'm looking now at the version of it this is Fallout 4, presumably.
This was added as a Creation Club mod, bringing the Fallout 1 and 2 gun into Fallout 4.
And again, there's no way that if this is magazine fed, that rounds can get into that cylinder. There's also a Norwegian design, the Landstat, which we don't have. I've never actually seen in the flesh, that feeds its cylinder from a magazine. And I don't actually know the design reason for that. In the long run, it's needlessly complicated and heavy to use two different feed devices when only one is necessary. But, rule of cool applies here, I think. Okay, here is that third entirely fictional pistol. Very surprised that they came up with a brand new design. Maybe that's going to appear in Fallout games in the future. Sadly, in a way, it's based on the Desert Eagle. Now, I've got time for the Desert Eagle, but it's a little bit of a lazy choice, guys. Sorry to say that. And you've made it look nice and Fallout-y, don't get me wrong. It didn't need to look like a Desert Eagle, and it probably shouldn't have, if I'm being critical. Especially when you already have two perfectly serviceable, very Fallout-looking sci-fi pistols already in your show. Why not just give him a 10mm pistol?
It's also a little extra weird when you consider the 10mm pistol from Fallout 3 in New Vegas is based off of a Desert Eagle. The back half is a Desert Eagle. So there's already Desert Eagle lineage in the pistol life of Fallout.
I'd forgotten that, Dave, and that probably means that was their starting point for this pistol. And then, for whatever reason, it's split off into this design. Might even be practical reasons. I can't think why.
You know how you've said before, Arnold Schwarzenegger has the Desert Eagle because any other pistol would look silly in his hands?
Yeah.
This being like the armored, the pistol of a knight. I mean, What else are you going to get, really? You need a big pistol. I do at least appreciate the detail. They've taken the trigger guard off, so an armored finger can fit in. So it's meant to be specific for an armored big figure.
That's fair enough. So maybe that was the design process, was we're going to base it off the 10mm pistol from Fallout 3, but we're going to change it up so that it's been sort of redesigned or customized for the Brotherhood of Steel to give them their own specific pistol, because the story called for him to have a weapon readily available to him, and they had already gone the golf bag route. So he wasn't going to have his assault rifle on his back or some other weapon. I'm almost surprised we didn't see the power fist thing come in at that point. So we have lever actions in Fallout games from memory based on the Marlin. This appears to be a Winchester. So there's a shot where it's still on his back. You can see that the weapon clearly has a side plate. So there's a Winchester 73 side plate with the loading gate and the side plate on the other side. This screw in this position back here. This bump here, not as prominent as on the Marlin, but it's there, which it isn't on the later Winchesters. The hammer is the wrong shape, but it's not a million miles away. My money is on this being based on a Winchester, but I don't think it's a real gun, and it has been changed up design-wise. It has a large loop on it, not a huge John Wayne / T2 loop, but an enlarged loop. This is a carbine, Winchester 73 carbine, cut down to just a pistol-sized grip and barrel cut down to, well, as far as that in some cases. This thing is typically referred to as a mare's leg in that configuration due to the rough shape of the gun. Basically a Winchester cut down to pistol size. Big pistol, but pistol size. And that's what's on Mr. Goggins' back there. Absolutely massive caliber if we go by the hole in the front. That would appear to be 50 caliber plus. But the loading gate is about this size. Now, note the Ghoul pulling out one of his special rounds from his bandolier and then kind of offering it up to his receiver, the receiver of his rifle, and kind of almost thinking, this doesn't fit. And then it cuts away. I don't know what's going on there. Genuinely seems like he's trying to load a round that doesn't fit, and that loading gate is absolutely too small, even if the muzzle on that thing is suggestive of that being the right round. So don't know what's going on there. They've kind of glossed over it. I would have directed Walton to not make it obvious that his rounds don't fit his weapon. Or am I missing something here? Please do tell me in the comments if I am. Now, they've struggled to get hold of a real one anyway, but the Revolver is very similar, but in detail not, to the MTS 255, which we featured before, forgetting which game, which is a Russian revolving shotgun design. An artist has used that as their main reference and created a unique pistol for the Ghoul that I don't think has been in Fallout before, or has the MTS been in Fallout, Dave? Remind me.
No, this is, again, another new one for the show, but it fits.
I mean, it does, yeah. Your main sort of anti-hero, I guess, gunslinger character has a unique revolver style hero weapon that is very sci-fi, and that's entirely appropriate. Now interesting slow-mo shot here with the specialist ammo. So that's definitely one of those from his bandolier. He's sort of fanning the revolver there. Guess it's single action, therefore he's just fanning it once to cock it and fire it quickly. The effects of the firearms are kind of on brand for Fallout. Sort of various hints at the bloody mess perk from the Fallout games. To be fair, even vanilla Fallout wounds can be pretty graphic. Oh, okay. Interesting, craft-produced looking, rusty, riveted steel thing with a wooden handguard. Looks very Fallouty. Don't know what it is.
This is like the only nod we have to the makeshift pipe weapons from Fallout 4. They were huge in that game. Obviously, I suppose when you're doing a TV show, it's easier to have prop weapons or blank firing weapons to look and sound the part than make something like this do the same thing.
I don't think there are many actual blank firing guns in this show, but most of these guns are entirely props. There's nothing stopping them from going full Fallout 4 and having a load of pipe weapons of various sorts. And I'm kind of surprised, like you are, that they didn't do that. I didn't even notice this watching this episode at home. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh, hello, what's that?
Yeah, when I was cutting the clips out to show you, I'd go through them slowly, and I missed this. I've watched this episode 2 times now, and I missed this weird thing. You just see it in the reflection of a mirror, and it's like Burton LMR style weapon.
I think that's another pipe gun. It reminds me of the Burton V magazine, like choose which mag you want rifle that is in the Cody Firearms Museum. Our friends at the Cody Firearms Museum have that on display with that V arrangement, but it appears to be made from bits of pipe. So I think this is actually possibly the other one that I couldn't spot earlier that dropped to the ground when someone gets shot. It's possible all 3 of those are based on the pipe guns from Fallout 4.
In the background, there's a plasma pistol, there's a laser rifle.
I missed the plasma pistol. I did see the laser rifle.
It's just above Lucy's head, right in the back. It's a very small plasma pistol.
Oh, God, they must have made so much for this that we haven't really seen in any detail.
The shot where it pans up, I think the bottom one is another pipe weapon. I think the one above that is trying to echo the laser musket from Fallout 4.
I think so. I don't see a crank, but it would be on the other side, wouldn't it?
No, it would be on the left side, but I mean it's a rifle body with laser gubbins tied to the top, so I think that's what they're going for.
It's got to be. You've got the sort of the laser rifle kind of barrel assembly on the top, and then the kind of capacitors on the back. Black tape, yeah. It's not the laser musket, but it's definitely riffing on it. So the pipe gun is not the same one we just saw getting shot out of someone's hands, because it has a single magazine on the bottom instead of what appears to be two on the top. And it has a tubular buttstock rather than a double strut. So they've probably made a number of different pipe guns, and only some of them have made it through in a prominent way. But I'm catching way more detail thanks to this than I did when I actually watched the episode. The junk jet. As soon as I saw a doll limb appear in someone's chest, I realised what that was. And helpfully at this point, it's labelled for you as to what it is. Very cool concept for a weapon. We've covered it before, of course. Disappointing in the actual use of it, from my memory anyway. It really is surprising how many elements from the games have actually translated into this. Because it was so dark, I couldn't make out. There's a pair of scissors there, I think, was in the junk jet.
Yeah, scissors and cutlery, I think.
Which, of course, makes sense. In the game, I don't think it matters what rubbish you put in there, does it?
Not from my memory. I went back and recorded some gameplay to compare, and everything seemed to do about the same damage. Even the top opening, like where in theory they're putting all the gubbins, is featured on the show version. Credit to them, a lot of work has gone into recreating a very niche game weapon. But
it's something very distinctive and memorable. People who haven't played the games will be wondering what the hell's going on with it. Go. Now I'm struggling to remember turret gun designs from these games. This looks like it ought to have been ripped straight from a game, but I genuinely can't remember. I love the Please Remain Calm TV screen on the bottom of it. Is this faithful, Dave, to the sentry guns from any of the games? I really can't remember.
It's pretty spot on from the sentry guns that you can put up in your settlements or that you might find in Fallout 4, except for the Please Remain Calm screen. They're about as accurate in the show as they are in the game as well, so they've nailed that part.
I got as far as putting one of them up and kind of lost interest, and I think I put it in the wrong place as well, which didn't help.
Yeah, they're largely useless to defend your settlement because you'll still get a notification to go defend it, and as we see in the Fallout show, apparently can't hit one man and a dog either.
That trope of shooting where the person just was is bad enough. You know, anyone that has got some sort of combat training is going to know to not shoot where they are now if they're running perpendicular to you, because you will miss behind them, which is dramatic and exciting, I guess. A robot's turret should be able to, I mean, literally just shoot 2 feet in front of him. He's going to run into that stream of gunfire. But of course, the character has to survive. All right, guys, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching the guns of a TV show. We're branching out. Fallout TV show, enjoying it so far, about halfway through. Looking forward to getting through the rest of it. Hope you enjoyed it too. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. As always, we are the Royal Armouries Museum. Please do come and visit one of our museums. Check out our website, our social media. Join us over for our YouTube series if you'd like to, featuring me and some guns. Either way, we'll see you here next week.